I'd like to talk briefly, I promise briefly, about how MIT perceives and fosters an ecosystem of innovation that not only affects the students and faculty there, but it has an impact on the surrounding area. And indeed, what you're seeing, I'm skipping ahead too quickly, let me back up. What you're seeing, in fact, is an ecosystem that refers to the area around MIT called Kendall Square, stated to be the densest collection of innovators anywhere in a square mile in the world. I'm going to start with a quote from one of our graduates. You may recognize this gentleman, Drew Houston, who started Dropbox while at MIT, and at age 30 is worth personally $1 billion US and has created a $10 billion company. You can read Drew's quote, but what it essentially says is that when the local environment is filled with others who both encourage and compete with you on entrepreneurial ideas, it creates a system that supports experimentation and innovation, and it creates an environment in which those activities are encouraged. And that in turn contributes to a system in which students feel safe in trying ideas, in failing, in learning from that failure, and in trying the next great idea. Thus, that ecosystem that supports innovation is critical, and it requires many interconnected elements so that it is tightly integrated into part of that overall environment. Now, it turns out MIT has a long history of innovation and entrepreneurship. In the year 2000, we conducted a study in which we counted any company around the world with the property that one of the founders was an MIT graduate, and that person was still involved in the company. So Gillette would not count. Neither would HP or Intel, all MIT companies, but all where the founders had sadly passed away. And here are the numbers. MIT has generated over 26,000 such companies still active today. Together they employ 3.3 million people, and they have gross annual revenues of about $2.3 trillion. If we were to locate them all at MIT, a logistic problem in itself, it would make MIT the 11th largest country in the world by GDP. And those companies cover manufacturing, biotech, software, electronics, commerce, energy, and many others. So we have a history. Now, not only are those companies, or our alumni, creating companies, but in many cases they're creating multiple companies, and most importantly, they're doing it much more rapidly than in the past. Students who graduated in the 60s, if they started a company, started their first company at age 40. Students who graduated in the 90s, when they created their first company, they did it at age 28. And today, we have students walking in the door, having already started a company and wanting to learn more about how to be an entrepreneur and how to create systems that will improve how they can make an impact on the world. So what's MIT's perspective on dealing with this? We believe that innovation and entrepreneurship should be integrally linked with education and research. It should be distributed throughout the entire environment of the campus. That means that there should be both curricular and co-curricular programs that link instruction and education with innovation experiences. We also think it means that co-locating activities in common places can greatly enhance the experience by providing opportunities for students and faculty to create teams, to brainstorm ideas, to fail, to improve, and to constructively critique each other's work. And thus, we have created a very distributed system that has activities spread across all of campus. We believe it's important that there are many different places for students and faculty to interact. And we also believe it is very important to avoid silos, to avoid isolating this in one place. This is not a problem of a business school or an engineering school or a school of science. It is a problem of all of them. And as a consequence, we want to make sure that we're providing all of those pieces accurately for all of those students. As a consequence, our students are encouraged to take risks, to explore ideas in this wide range of settings, through research with faculty, to action-based learning experiences in the classroom, to technical and business competitions, to hackathons of different flavors. And what I'd like to do is show you 4 elements of how that happens. The first element is in entrepreneurial activities, and it deals with competitions. The first and most famous of MIT's competitions is called the 100K. It's a business plan competition runs for an entire year, run by a set of students. This competition has created more than 130 companies with an aggregate market cap of $15 billion US. And it allows students to invent ideas, build teams, work with mentors, and refine both ideas and a business plan for how to launch a venture. Basic elements you can see here. Students start with a pitch competition, which is not a baseball term, but refers to trying to come up with a way to present an idea accurately to a set of mentors. Typically, about 400 teams of 8 to 10 students will participate in this. After that pitch competition, we select 30 teams, and they go into an accelerate competition. Each gets a small amount of money, but more importantly, access to mentors and designers. And they spend a month prototyping, seeking customer validation, collecting data, creating a proof of concept, and rolling out a beta product. From that, a small set of teams will go into the final launch competition, where students will go through 3 stages where they're judged by venture capitalists, experienced entrepreneurs, patent attorneys, CEOs of existing companies, and faculty to select a final winner who receives $100,000 in prize, hence the name of the competition. Well, that's really important to create those competitions. Sometimes students need a place earlier in the stage to play. And for this, we create sandboxes, both a place to play and a place where we provide toys. In those spaces, students are encouraged to purely experiment. Think of these as grand maker spaces, access to tools, to material, to the cloud, as well as access to mentors that can provide advice as they think about how to form teams and gain access to other pieces. The spaces are very open so that students constantly rub elbows with or create friction with each other as they think about how to build those ideas and critique each other. And perhaps most importantly, anything that a student creates in this space, even though it is our space and our toys, belongs to the student. MIT takes no lien, if you like, on intellectual property. There are other ways, though, in which students can be innovative, not just in startups, but within existing companies. And here I would simply highlight 2 programs that MIT provides. The Gordon Engineering Leadership Program, where students go through experienced design of situational awareness, critiques from staff and peers, case studies, design under constraint as a way of learning how to do entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship within an existing company. And the second one is called UPOP, where students as sophomores or second-year students spend a summer working in internships around the country and around the world, but especially learning how to participate in corporate settings and how to innovate within existing companies. Note that roughly 1/2 of all MIT sophomores participate in this program, and 2/3 of all engineering sophomores participate in this program. So what we believe is that students can gain leadership and entrepreneurship skills and knowledge by combining deep foundational knowledge from traditional academic settings with opportunities to learn in real-world settings, whether it's for a startup or within an existing company.